Pretty good group. All right. SEC Power Rankings. They are on offthehooksports.com. That's offthehooksports.com. Georgia, number one. Hard to argue with that. You have Alabama, 2. How far is the drop off between Alabama and then Ole Miss, who you have at 3, LSU 4, and Missouri at 5? I can't argue with you, Caleb. It doesn't mean I like it.
Yeah, Missouri has to be number 5. I was ready to drop Missouri, but they put up a fight against LSU 2 weeks ago. That LSU cover, but that was a backdoor cover on a pick 6 when they were trying to go, come back. So it doesn't really count. And they shocked me against Kentucky this past weekend. So Missouri has to be 5. LSU, though, low key, just blows out Arkansas 48-14. They're still in the SEC West hunt. Don't count Brian Kelly's team out yet. And Ole Miss, I don't know if there's much of a drop-off from Alabama to Ole Miss. I know Alabama held them to 10 points, but that game was in Tuscaloosa, and it was 24-10. So I think if that game's in Oxford, you might have seen a bigger fight from Ole Miss. So, look, Jackson Dart, Dave, I can't believe I'm saying this, but he's very close to making a Heisman case if he keeps playing the way he's playing. He's playing very well for Ole Miss right now, and look, Lane Kiffin's doing a heck of a job.
Then you have Tennessee at number 6.
Yes. Tennessee would have moved up to number 5, but I had to jump Missouri up, funny enough. I just had no choice because of what they did. So Tennessee is at number 6. They have the worst loss of that top tier in the SEC because Tennessee still has that inexplicable loss to Florida that I just cannot for the life of me figure out. But no, I mean, I can, but that's when I debated you guys about is Tennessee cursed against Florida. Well, if this year holds up the way I think it's going to, you guys will have a point. Because it'll look like there's no reason Tennessee should have lost that game in the end.
Tennessee number 6, followed by why number 6 and why ahead of Texas A&M, obviously because they beat them, and then Kentucky, Florida, Auburn. Why Tennessee at 6?
Yeah, because again they're part of that upper echelon that's not number 1, which is Georgia, which is there's 5 other teams that have 1 loss in the league, except for LSU, which has 2 losses. But I think LSU's 2 losses are more impressive than most teams' 1 because they played a very brutal schedule. So these other 5 teams really have everything out in front of them. And I mean, a potential college football playoff berth too. And yeah, I'm including LSU in that. They could pull a 2007 and get in with 2 losses. So 6-2 are teams that if they win out, if any of them wins out, you'll be talking about a potential. They will be in the college football playoff hunt. And they're the only 6 remaining teams that can be in the hunt.
South Carolina number 11, Mississippi State number 12, and then you've got Arkansas and Vanderbilt. So talk about the bottom third of the conference.
You want me to analyze Kentucky to Auburn first, or just go straight to the bottom? So yeah, Kentucky I think is they're middle of the pack, and Dave, they're 5-2. They might go 5-7. They're going to be an underdog probably in the rest of their games the rest of the year after a 5-0 start. So that Missouri loss was more devastating than you think. And I say that as a Mark Stoops believer. But Florida, look, they're staying above water. They still control their destiny in the SEC East after holding off to beat South Carolina.
And Graham Mertz still controls his own destiny in the Heisman Trophy race too as well.
Oh, of course, absolutely. And Billy Napier, those details are paying off right now.
He's very detail oriented.
And then Auburn at number 10. Look, Hugh Freeze is still a good coach, but they're going to have games like what they had last weekend where they got blown out by LSU. Now, you brought up South Carolina at 11. I wanted to respond to SE Scout Guy at the beginning. I'm with you. I think Spencer Rattler's just held back by the system and by poor coaching, and Shane Beamer blamed his players after Saturday's loss. Didn't take any responsibility for the 41-39 loss. You're seeing just, again, he got a win against Tennessee last year in Clemson, but you were right, Dave. He's another Butch Jones. Spencer Rattler is single-handedly carrying this football team, and he's got no help. I've never seen a quarterback. He has less help than John Elway had at Stanford in the 80s.
No, and I think teams, too, I think they kind of unveiled the get him out of the pocket, get him on the move against Tennessee, and I thought he made some great plays. I'm talking about last year against Tennessee, and I feel like defensive coordinators are kind of catching up to that, and they're holding the edge a little bit more, and he's not able to get outside and make plays nearly as often. Plus, I mean, they know he's pretty good, and when he comes to town, it might not be a great overall team, or when you go to Columbia, it might not be a great overall team, just him and the quarterback, and it's a pretty simple way to attack this offense and to beat South Carolina. It's not overly complicated.